am back with another video. Two main news stories. First one is from Tigray, where some drone strikes have been conducted by Ethiopian Air Force. Details are limited, but Tigray sources are claiming that a humanitarian convoy was hit. Some trucks carrying aid were hit. Secondly, viewers, Amhara region of Ethiopia, where tensions are rising, and Amhara Prosperity Party leader's house came under attack last night. Reportedly, it was an assassination attempt. Meanwhile, protests are intensifying in the Amhara region. It all started after Zamine Kasi's arrest, and Gondar Fano commander Mesafent has also released a message. Rapidly evolving situation in the Amhara region. We have details for you. Firstly, Tigray, viewers, where some drone strikes are being conducted. Drone strikes are not a news now in Tigray on daily basis. Drone strikes are being conducted not only on Tigray but around Tigray as well. By the way, the drone strikes, air strikes happening around Tigray are less reported on TDF convoys, on TDF military assets. On daily basis, drone and air strikes are being conducted in Tigray and around Tigray, where there is ongoing fighting. This time we are receiving reports from central Tigray. Reportedly, the drone strikes were conducted between Shire and Zana, Madbe Zana, which is a woreda in Tigray, and between these places, some humanitarian aid trucks were on their way. Tigray sources claim that these trucks were targeted, and it is a violation of international law that humanitarian organizations in Tigray are being targeted. Not officially, but those sources close to Tigray are claiming that 8 trucks were targeted near Shire. But we are waiting for official announcement from UNOCHA. So far, no statement from aid agencies. Have their trucks been targeted, or the trucks were being used by Tigray fighters? So we'll have to wait a little, but drone strikes have been conducted reportedly. Aid organizations are extremely under pressure in Tigray. If you remember, a few days ago I did a video about workers of the staff of aid agencies who are trapped in Mekelle. They want to leave Mekelle because their services are not needed. They're non-essential staff. They have completed their assignments, but they're waiting for permission from Ethiopian federal government. UN and other aid agencies have written a letter to Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ethiopia requesting arrangement of some flights or by road travel for these staff members of aid organizations from Mekelle to other places outside Tigray. But so far, reportedly, flights have not been allowed, by road travel not allowed as well. So around 100 non-essential staff of aid agencies is trapped in Mekelle, and drone strikes and air strikes are being conducted in Mekelle in those areas which are being used by aid agencies. Those areas are called deconflicted areas. Coordinates of these places have been communicated by aid organizations to Ethiopian federal government so that no drone and air strikes should be conducted on these places. But drone and air strikes have been conducted in deconflicted areas as well. That is why aid agency staff is in danger, their lives in danger in Tigray. Let's see. We'll update you once there is a statement from aid organizations about drone strikes on Shire front between Shire and Zana. If the target or if their trucks have been hit, obviously aid organizations will speak, but so far no statement. Secondly, there was a rapidly evolving situation in the Amhara region of Ethiopia. Protests are intensifying. Assassination attempt has been made on a leader of Amhara Prosperity Party. It all started after the arrest of Zamine Kasi, Fano commander, arrested a few days ago from Bahirdar. He was in a monastery, and conflicting accounts are being shared how he was arrested. Some say he was deceived into talks. He was called for reconciliation. He was arrested. Others say that he was hiding in a monastery in Bahirdar, and locals somehow knew and they informed the police. However, he was arrested, but he's in police custody now, and protests are intensifying for his release. He was taken to a court, and a court granted physical remand to police. Now he'll be again produced before a court in coming days. Before that, today, firstly, protests were held in Bore, which is in Gojam. People took to the streets against Zamine Kasi's arrest, against alleged genocide of Amharas in the Oromia region of Ethiopia. Dozens were there. This is a new development. Why? Because protests are not being allowed in the Amhara region. Since the start of campaign to disarm Fano was launched around 3 months ago in the Amhara region. Since then, all protests were crushed. Whoever tried to protest, they were arrested. Even those who were speaking against the government, they were being arrested. Journalists, activists are in prison. So this time, protests was held in Bore and in Fano as well. Some sources say demonstrations were held. Amhara forces tried to stop these demonstrations by using force. We have a clip for you showing demonstrations in Bore. Secondly, viewers, assassination attempt has been made on the life of reportedly an Amhara Prosperity Party leader. His name is Girma Yeshitila. Girma Yeshitila's family, one of his wives reportedly lives in Gajjam in Dangala. And there last night 2 hand grenades were thrown at the house. Luckily, no one was killed. I think Girma was not there, and he has survived, though he's not confirming, not official statement by the government so far, but several sources are confirming grenade attack on Girma Yeshitila's family house, where one of his wives lives in Dangala, Gajjam. He survived this attempt. Why was he targeted? When Zamine Kasi was arrested last week, a few days ago, it was said that Girma Yeshitila was responsible for the arrest of Zamine Kasi. That is why perhaps his house was attacked. Lastly, Mesafent, Gondar Fano commander has broken his silence. He spoke about arrests of Fano fighters and arrest of Zamine Kasi. He said around 13,000 Fano fighters have been arrested so far since the start of campaign by regional federal forces to disarm Fano around 3 months ago. Secondly, he called for the release of Zamine Kasi, and thirdly, he condemned alleged genocide of Amharas in Valaga in Oromia. So you see, tensions are rising in the Amhara region. Fano is seriously split. Amhara PP party leaders are being targeted. Protests are starting. Of course, government will try to crush these demonstrations. Government will not allow demonstrations at this point of time when there is fighting in North Gondar. Will these demonstrations turn into large-scale uprising in the Amhara region, that remains to be seen. Two clips for you. First one shows youth protesting in Bore, Gajjam against Zamina Kasi's arrest. Second clip shows Mesafent, Gondar Fano commander demanding release of 13,000 Fano fighters and release of Zamina Kasi, Fano commander from Gajjam. Zamina Kasi is from Gajjam. That is why we have seen the reaction against Zamina Kasi's arrest in Gajjam. His house was raided there, and we saw clashes 2 months ago between Fano fighters and government forces near Zamina Kasi's house in Gajjam. So Gajjam is becoming destabilized because Gajjam is home to Zamina Kasi, home to Mesafent as well. Not Mesafent, Masresha. Masresha is from Gajjam, and Masresha is also being traced by government forces which want to arrest Masresha. To watch the two clips, viewers. Thank you for watching.
አታሎ አቅርቦ ሰውን ይህ ከእምነት የጎደለ ነው። ስለዚህ ዘመነ ካሴ ተስሯል። አሁን ቤተሰብ እሱ ከተታውን ይፈታል። በማታለል ሰው እንዴት ይፈታል? መንግስት እንዴት ያታል? አንድ ግለሰብ እኮ ያታል። ዚያራ በቃቸው አባቶቻችንስ ለጠላት ደም ሊመልሱ ታጥቀህናል ታጠቅና እየመጣሁ ነው ብለው አስጠነቀው። እንዴት በሽማግሌስ ነገ እንግዲህ ሊቆም ነው? ያሳሰሩ ሰዎችስ እንግዲህ ሊቆሙ ነው? እና ይሄ ባህላችንም እየተናደ ነው ያለው። መንግስት አሁን ማስተካከል አለበት። ይታልና